Last 3 times.
Let's call the meeting in order, please. Take the roll, please.
Early.
Mayor Zakowski.
Here.
Alderman Kittle.
Here.
Alderman Breeze.
Here.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Here.
Alderman Gartner.
Here.
Alderman Volkert.
Here.
Alderman Montello.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and
Your motion to adopt the agenda as proposed.
Motion we adopt the agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
So moved. Any public comments? Okay, we'll move on then. The consent agenda. Do I have your motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Just make a comment. We have a donation of $350 from Ellicott Dredge Technologies for the Newark Fire and Rescue Department for Fire Prevention Week activities. Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? So moved. New business, resolution providing for the sale of approximately $7,565,000 general obligation promissory notes, Series 2024A.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet is the pre-sale report for the sale of the general obligation notes. Sean with Ellers is here tonight to go over that pre-sale report and address any questions that the council may have. Just at a high level, the timeline that we would look at is this evening is the initial resolution. The end of July 31st, we actually would have our rating call held with Moody's. And then we would look to sell the notes on August 14th. In the pre-sale report, it was August 12th, just due to the change in the schedule with the regular council meeting being moved to that Wednesday. The sale will actually occur on the 14th, and those results will then come back to the council for consideration on that evening. So with that, I'll turn it over to Sean, and Sean can walk through the pre-sale and address any questions, again, the council may have.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Rand, for the introduction. I think maybe the best place to start would be the Exhibit 1, if we can go to that on there. Oh, other direction, sorry about that. One more. Great, thank you. So at the recently held workshop that we had regarding financial planning, what we had looked at was a financing this year in 2024 for the purposes of financing the 2023, 2024, and 2025 capital projects for the city. Now, you do have a couple other capital projects that are not proposed to be financed with this issue. And the reason for that is those issues qualify for subsidized low-interest loans through the state of Wisconsin. So those are primarily a couple sewer and water-related projects that are on the horizon that might be done in the next couple of years. But the remaining projects, 23, 24, and 25, are included here. Now, a couple of years ago, as Rand has looked at the overall financial situation for the city, we discussed at length trying to, instead of issuing debt every year, try to issue debt every couple of years to encompass a few years' worth of projects, and that's what's being done this year. Reason being a couple-fold. One, that we're not duplicating efforts with legal and rating and fiscal expenses, and we can do a couple years of issue, or a couple years of projects in one issue. And the other, I think we talked a little bit at the workshop, in recent years, last couple years, investment rates have risen significantly. Short-term interest rates have risen significantly. Long-term interest rates, though, really have not risen to that same level. So if we, say, finance the 2025 projects and package it together, we can invest the money for the 2025 projects and actually make a few bucks on that to offset the cost of the borrowing. So it works out to the advantage of the city to do so. The other thing that we're doing here is we're blending primarily debt levy projects for the city. So projects that are more general fund, street, storm sewers, sidewalk in nature. But you do have some electric utility, water utility, and sewer utility projects that don't, the sewer and water that don't qualify for state subsidized low interest rate financing. And we're proposing to put all that together into a single general obligation issue rather than issuing multiple issues using revenue bonds and GO bonds. And again, this is in discussions with Rayanne, as the council, I think, is aware through the prudent financial management, some decisions that you guys have made, the staff has made. Your bond rating has come up to the AA level, which is fantastic. It's just 2 below the top rating of AAA, the AA2 level that we're at right now. And your general obligation borrowing capacity, which 5-10 years ago was a little bit of a concern here in New Richmond, is not a concern anymore because you've grown significantly and you've paid down significant amount of debt. So with all of that as a background, what you see on Exhibit 1 is the proposed 20-year repayment of the financing for the 23, 24, and 25 capital projects. I should note that the 23, we're borrowing to reimburse expenses that you guys have already incurred, and you'll get, the general fund will get paid back those dollars. We've used interest rates about 0.5% above the current market to be conservative at this time. And the plan would be for the projects, the 20-year, 10-year, and 5-year GO, those are representative of different useful life projects. So a street has a useful life of 20 years. We've got that being paid back over 20 years. But some of the equipment that's included in the financing has a 5-year useful life, and that's shown accordingly on the chart. Those categories, the 20, 10, and 5, those will be paid by the city's debt levy. And then in purple, blue, and kind of the orangish color, those portions of this issue will be paid back by the electric utility, the water utility, and the sewer utility. So this will all be combined into a single issue, but as I'd mentioned, we'll work with city staff and break it out into a portion that will be a part of your debt levy, electric utility budget, water utility, and sewer utility. Okay? Any questions on this before I go to the next exhibit? Okay. So the other point, I just wanted to highlight this again for the council. This chart is looking at the debt levy portion. So again, from the previous slide, those projects were to be paid back as part of the whole issue over the next 20 years, a portion 10 years, and 5 years, again, based on the type of project and how long of a useful life they have. Those are represented in kind of the grayish color on top of the blue. The blue is the existing debt levy that the city has for projects that you've already financed in the past and are paying back the debt on. And then the gray is representative of the projected impact with the interest rate about 0.5% above current market conditions of adding this new debt. And what I'd highlight, what we talked about in the workshop a couple of weeks ago, is the impact of this issue will be a slight increase over the 2024 budget year debt levy, but not significantly adjusted, and kind of stays at the same level for a couple of years and then begins to fall off. What's not shown on this chart is one of the items we did talk about at that workshop is the future capital improvement plan that we would add potentially in 26, 28, and beyond for the capital projects that are listed there. So with this year's financing, we're not expecting any sort of major impact on the 2025 budget that you'd have coming up, because there we see maybe a slight debt levy, but not a meaningful levy above the current level that you had in the last budget you completed. But if we do projects coming in the next couple years, depending on what ultimately the city chooses to move forward with, that could be a little more impactful on the debt levy down the road. So I think this will look very good in terms of bidders, and we expect with the timeline that Rayanne mentioned, between now and August 14th, again, that's a special meeting because I think you've got an election that's in there. We will be working with city staff on putting together the official statement, the prospectus that goes out to investors both locally and nationwide. And because of the city's excellent bond rating, we do expect bids from a wide range of bidders all around the country. We would bring those bids back for the council on the meeting on the 14th. And at that time, you'd have a resolution before you saying, here's the results of the sale. We would update these slides so you could see what the impact based on the final interest rates that are bid. And at that point, not before, the council at that point would choose whether to proceed and lock in with the best bid that we receive that morning. So before the resolution that I think the mayor alluded to, if there's any questions that I can answer on the proposed financing for this year. And again, just to reiterate, this is financing projects to reimburse the city for 23, finance your 2024 projects that were part of this year's budget, and also finance the capital projects for 2025.
And I just think it's important, Sean, that folks understand, and I know we've talked about this, the money that we're pre-borrowing for next year is money that will be invested. And in fact, we have reason to believe that our rate of return could potentially be higher, at least it is today, than what the projected cost of that money that we're borrowing.
Correct.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve resolution number 072401.
Second.
Any further discussion? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
Alderman Breeze.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, resolution 072402, petition for airport improvement aid.
The airport is requesting funding from the FAA and the state. The request is in the form of a petition. The petition includes a public hearing before the Airport Commission, a report to the Planning Commission, and then a resolution that is hopefully approved by the City Council. So I submitted to you the resolution that the state provides, and I'm requesting approval of that document. I can go into the specifics of what's included in there, but it's any potential project that we may do over the next 5 to 7 years. It's just a funding request. It puts us in the queue for funding, and we're still have to compete with other municipalities for those grant dollars.
Mike, I should probably remember this since I was there last week, but for the sake of folks who don't know really what we're talking about, this is a list of kind of projects, some that really need to be done kind of soon, some we want to do later. I guess I'll just say they're between that spectrum, right? And the way funding works with the FAA, at a low level, do they provide, what is the low level? I mean, I've heard this 90 and 95% number, but worst case scenario, what have you seen?
The FAA typically funds 90% of capital improvement projects. The state has a 5% match and then 5% local. So $1 million project, we're looking at $50,000.
And again, there's a fair list of projects here, and some of these projects, you're not optimistic that we will get financing approved, but you put them all in there to see what you do get approved. So appreciate the work you're doing out at the airport. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve this resolution for airport aid as it's laid out in the memo.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Anybody have any questions? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Breeze.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
A motion passes. Next item, final plat application, Francois Fields.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have 9 applications for you this evening, and so I'm going to give you a more high-level overview. If you have questions, you're always welcome to stop me.
Just before you get started, can
Yes.
we settle the debate once and for all?
Francis. No debate.
It's Francis.
Mr. Derek,
ask,
can we just have kind of the final answer? Let's go with today.
What's officially going to be called? I like So I got it right?
Okay. It's a high-end project, so it's gonna be Francois, he says. All right, I'm sorry for interrupting you. This is rolling around in my brain.
That's okay. I'm going to roll with Francis tonight. Willow River Lake submitted a final plat application for a new subdivision to be known as Francis Fields. It is located south of State Highway 64. The proposed subdivision includes 97 lots, including 25 single-family lots and 72 twin-home lots. The future land use map guides the site for low-density residential and mixed-use corridor, and the zoning designation is Z2 suburban district. The proposed single-family and twin homes are consistent with the future land use map and zoning designation. All 97 lots are consistent with the lot occupation and setback requirements. The final plat provides for the dedication of a 70-foot right-of-way for North Shore Drive, which includes a 10-foot wide paved trail, and a 60-foot right-of-way for Heart Lake Road, Turner Lane, and Keneal Street, which includes a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk. The development will be accessible via Brady Lane and North Shore Drive, which have been deemed adequate to serve the development and meet city requirements. The developer is working with the Wisconsin DOT to connect the development to Highway 64 permanently. All heavy construction equipment will access the development via an existing field access point on Highway 64. And per request with the preliminary plat, signage will be installed restricting heavy construction equipment from utilizing North Shore Drive and Brady Lane to access the construction site. Final signage and placement will be approved by the Director of Public Works prior to installation. For parkland, the applicant has proposed to dedicate outlots 9 and 10, which equal 2.47 acres and meet the minimum dedication requirement. The applicant has also proposed to dedicate an additional 2.14 acres for future phases. There was a parkland exhibit that was included in your packet. No additional park impact fees would be required with the final plat. And we have one condition under parkland that non-active parkland shall be seeded with natural landscaping suitable to the soil conditions, as it is a lot of parkland to maintain. The landscaping plan is consistent with city requirements. The DRC recommends approval of the final plat application with 7 conditions, and I'm happy to answer questions.
The park board okay with the 2 plats?
Yeah. I just have a question for either, probably Ron. Access to the 2.14 acres, we talked about a boardwalk at Planning Commission or some kind of way to get out there easy. Is that, I would like that as one of the conditions to be put in black and white. I know that that we had talked about it earlier, and when I saw this the other day, I didn't see it in there. The lot that we're talking about is gonna be a nice area, really nice area. And it's good size, but on high water times, there's gonna be certain times where we won't have access to it. So if we could have some kind of agreement that something could be built there, that's my only question.
Yeah. Ron,
We
just
talked
state
about
your-
it prior, so,
Ron, state your name.
yep.
State your name and address.
Ron Derek, representing Willow River Lakes. So we've started working with Kelly Beaupre, who did the wetland delineation.
Yep.
He says as long as, get this right, there's no footings, you really don't even need a permit almost. But we'll go through the whole process with the DNR to make sure it happens.
That's what we were always, just some kind of floating boardwalk, so
Well,
it's,
I think you can drive piers is what Kelly was saying,
oh, okay.
foundation.
No, just have some access in high times.
We're
Or,
gonna wanna have that anyhow, because we wanna be able to do a structure,
right.
small structure or something.
Okay, so I just want that as part of the, get that in the qualifications in there, so.
Okay.
Talking about 8 conditions.
8 conditions, yeah.
And are you really, you're talking about an island? Is that what it is?
It's more of a peninsula. But on certain times of the year, I'm guessing, it turns into an island.
And just out of curiosity, what's the plan for that space? Just green space?
Green space, natural area. They were talking about putting some kind of, not putting words in your mouth, but some kind of shade structure or some kind of way we could get out, walk out there and just kind of hang out for picnics or whatever. Yep. Oh, that's true, yeah. Yeah,
We'll go by the microphone.
this year.
Talk into the microphone. There's people
I got to point and talk at the same
Yeah,
time.
long pointer there.
on TV.
So I walked across it until the last rains.
Yep.
So I'm pretty confident. We want to be able to do a trail around it like we did at Willow River Bluffs. And then some type of small gazebo or something. People
Yeah. Yep. And that's fine. It's a good area.
Pull a kayak.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. that'd
Another
be-
question before Ron leaves.
No, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve the final plat application for
I'll second it.
Francis Field?
Fields
7-3.
with the 7+1, the 7 conditions outlined there, and then the one that's been just discussed.
You good, Michelle?
Got it.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Not, take the roll, please.
Alderman Weinmeier. Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
Alderman Vries.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item is final plat application, Fox Run 6th edition.
Thone Property Investment submitted a final plat application for Fox Run 6th edition. The 6th edition consists of 15 single-family lots, which were approved as a part of the Fox Run 4th edition preliminary plat in May of 2022. The preliminary plat included 52 lots, and again, this final plat is for 15. The addition is located on the north side of the Fox Run development off of Raccoon Lane. The future land use map guides the site for low-density residential, and it is zoned Z2 suburban district. The proposed single-family homes are consistent with the future land use map and zoning designation. All 15 lots are consistent with the lot occupation and setback requirements. The final plat provides for the dedication of a 60-foot right-of-way for Raccoon Lane, which connects to Otter Way. Raccoon Lane is adequate to serve the 15 lots. An 8-foot paved trail will connect to the existing trail in Fox Run 5th and Fox Run 2nd to create a complete loop on the north side of the development. Water and sewer have been stubbed on the plans to the future park location on the northeast side of the addition. The parkland dedication for Fox Run 6th was given as a part of Fox Run 4th final plat, so no additional parkland dedication or impact fees will be required with this final plat. The landscaping plan they submitted is consistent with city requirements. So the DRC recommends approval of the final plat application with 5 conditions.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question, but I'm going to offer a motion that we approve this final plat application for Fox Run 6th edition with the
5
conditions
conditions.
that have been outlined.
I'll second that.
Any discussion now?
I'm curious, and Ron, you're not at the microphone right now, but somebody can talk about, if you look at the area between Francis Fields and this work that's being done in Fox Run, it's relatively close. What is the space that exists there, linearly speaking? How far is the edge of Francis Fields to this addition roughly?
That's it? I would say more than that, but that's, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the Francis Fields project, that gets close to the Oak Ridge development in the township.
Right.
And then really this is kind of the northwest corner of the Fox Run development. So I mean, it's less than a half mile.
But it is contiguous land all the way. I'm trying to think, the river is not there. Yeah, okay,
I
thank
think
you.
the plan was originally that they're going to connect from Fox Run all the way over to, well, the trail by Bernard's there. That's the plan for the future.
The North
So-
Shore Trail.
And someday, conceivably, depending on what happens with Peterson's property, there'd be a road potentially that would go through there. That's real conjecture, I understand, but that's kind of a thought. Thank you.
Questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Can you talk about parking for the proposed park?
So on the plat itself, you can see the developer's proposing on kind of that, be the southeast corner of the street, how it kind of bumps out.
Off
to-
of Raccoon Lane?
Yep,
At the very end of Raccoon Lane?
yep, to provide some additional on-street
Some spots
parking.
there for?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I was. Does that have to be a condition or not?
Nope, that's being proposed as part of the.
That's part of this plan?
as part
so
of the
it's part
plat.
of-
Yep.
Okay, it's not a separate condition?
Nope.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes?
Alderman Breeze,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Motion passes. Our next item, certified survey map application, Sheryl Naser.
Sheryl Naser submitted a certified survey map application for a parcel located south of County Road Double G and north of Meadow Crossing. The parcel was annexed in May of 2024, and the applicant is seeking to subdivide the parcel, which will result in a total of 3 lots. The future land use map guides the site for low-density residential. The zoning designation is Z2 suburban district, and so future development should be consistent with the future land use map and zoning designation. Lot 1 has an existing driveway to County Road Double G, and the applicant has proposed a joint access easement for lots 2 and 3, which has been approved by St. Croix County. The applicant will need to record a shared driveway agreement for lots 2 and 3. As a condition of approval of the annexation, the existing house on Lot 1 will need to connect to city water and sewer by May of 2025. And lots 2 and 3 will be required to connect to city utilities upon development. All costs to connect are borne by the property owner. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the certified survey map with 1 condition.
I move to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Any questions at all?
There's, looking at the map, I think I have some familiarity with the property that would be west of where this development is, but along Double G there. Is there 3 homes perhaps in that area that'll be in the township? And the road that services those properties, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. It seems to me there was one kind of turn-in off of Double G to service those houses that are there. And so there would be a second, you're saying there is one now that serves a home that's into the city now, but then there's lots 2 and 3 will be served by that same egress, ingress onto Double G, is that correct?
So these lots are further to the east
Right.
than that frontage road.
Yep.
And so those will have their own separate easement onto Double G. They won't come off the frontage road.
Right, but it is still one point to get in and out for the 3 homes, the one that's there now and then 2 more as they're built? Am I understanding that right?
2 new ones.
It will be the one access point that's there and then only 1 additional access point for the new 2 lots.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes?
Alderman Breeze,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, certified survey map application, Thomas Hill.
Thomas Hill submitted a certified survey map application for 2 parcels located west of County Road Double C and south of 195th Avenue. These parcels were also attached to the city in May of 2024. The applicant is seeking to subdivide the parcels, which will result in a total of 4 lots. The future land use map guides the site as a mixed-use corridor, and the zoning designation is Z3 multi-use corridor district, so future development will need to be consistent with the future land use map and zoning designation. All of the lots are accessible via 195th Avenue, and Lot 4 is also accessible via County Road C and an existing gravel driveway. Additional access will need to be granted by the town of Star Prairie and St. Croix County. A portion of the existing parcels on the north and east side extend to the middle of 195th Avenue and County Road C, and so the applicant is proposing to dedicate a strip of property adjacent and parallel to the roads to the public as right-of-way. The closest utilities are located in the southeast in Freedom Park, and there are no immediate plans to extend the utilities further north on Wall Street. And so if desired for future development, the applicant will have the opportunity to go before the Utility Commission for permission for private well and septic systems. Future development will need to follow the city ordinances at the time that water and sewer are made available. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the certified survey map with 5 conditions.
We hear a motion to approve the certified survey map for Thomas Hill. 5 conditions.
I'll offer that motion.
Second?
Discussion. Take the roll, please.
Alderman Montello?
Yes.
Alderman Kittle?
Yes.
Alderman Vries?
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier?
Yes.
Alderman Gartner?
Yes.
Alderman Volkert?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, certified survey map application, Matt Newpower.
Matt Newpower submitted a certified survey map application for 3 parcels located west of South Knowles Avenue and west of South Knowles Avenue and south of Paperjack Drive. The applicant is seeking to subdivide the parcels, which will result in a total of 2 lots and 1 outlot. The future land use map guides the site as a mixed-use corridor, and the zoning designation is Z3 multi-use corridor district. The future development should be consistent with the future land use map and zoning designation. The lots are accessible via a 40-foot ingress-egress easement over proposed lots 1 and 2, which provides access again to both lots. Outlot 1 is accessible via Hamilton Avenue. The eastern portion of the current parcel extends to the middle of Highway 65, and therefore approximately 0.35 acres of the parcel will be dedicated to the public as right-of-way. Upon future development, the parcels will be served by New Richmond Utilities. The drainage and utility easements are consistent with city requirements. An additional easement has been provided to the city for all new and existing stormwater facilities on both lots and the outlot. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the CSM with no conditions.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to offer a motion that we approve this certified survey map application for Matt Newpower.
Second.
Any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Alderman Kittle?
Yes.
Alderman Vries?
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier?
Yes.
Alderman Gartner?
Yes.
Alderman Volkert?
Yes.
Alderman Montello?
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, ordinance number 609, Urban Reserve Area Attachment, Steve Halleen, PID 038-1105-10-100, 43.54 acres.
Steve Helleen's 43.54 acre parcel qualifies for attachment under section 3.5 of the boundary agreement, attachment of divided land transferred outside of immediate family. The parcel in reference was split in December of 2018 by the Francis family and sold to Steve in March of 2023 and is therefore required to come into the city. As a part of the attachment process, the city assigns a zoning designation. Based on the city's future land use map, the DRC recommends a zoning designation of Z3 multi-use corridor district. The closest utilities, closest water and sewer mains are approximately 1 mile southeast in Freedom Park. So if desired for future development, the applicant will have the opportunity to go before the Utility Commission to receive permission for private well and septic. And future development will need to follow city ordinances at the time that water and sewer are made available. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the attachment application for the 43.54 acre parcel with a zoning designation of Z3 Multi-Use Corridor District. And this is Ordinance
609.
609.
Oh, there's two of them.
There's
To
two
hear
of
a
them.
motion to approve ordinance number 609.
I make a motion to approve 609.
I'll second that.
Questions or discussion? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Breeze,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, ordinance number 610, Urban Reserve Area Attachment, Steve Halleen, PAD 038-110-510-255.66 acres.
Steve Helleen's 55.66 acre parcel also qualifies for attachment under Section 3.5 of the Boundary Agreement, attachment of divided land transferred outside immediate family. This parcel was also split in 2018 by the Francis family and sold to Steve in March of 2023 and is therefore required to come into the city. Based on the future land use map, the DRC recommends a zoning designation of Z2 suburban district. And this site is also approximately 1 mile from the Freedom Park where the closest utilities are. And so for this parcel, they will also have the opportunity to go before the Utility Commission for private well and septic. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval for the attachment of the 55.66 acre parcel with a zoning designation of Z2 suburban district. And this is ordinance 610.
Hear a motion to approve ordinance 610.
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Questions or discussion? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes.
Alderman Breeze.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, extraterritorial jurisdiction certified survey map application for Don Stevens.
Don Stevens submitted an extraterritorial plat review application for a certified survey map, also known as an ETJ CSM. The parcel is located in the town of Richmond, south of County Road G and west of 140th Street. The applicant is seeking to subdivide the parcel to create 2 new lots. The property is subject to the City of New Richmond's review as it is located within the 3-mile extraterritorial plat approval jurisdiction. The future land use map guides the site for low-density residential, so future development should take the city's future land use map into account as the best planning practice upon development. The site is currently not served by municipal water or sewer. The applicant will need to contact St. Croix County for information regarding private well and septic systems if desired for future development. Proposed lots 3 and 4 are accessible via 140th Street, and access is subject to review by the town of Richmond and St. Croix County. The right-of-way and easements are consistent with city requirements. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the ETJ certified survey map application with one condition.
Mayor, I'll offer a motion that we approve the extraterritorial plat application for Don Stevens with the following one condition.
Second?
Any discussion? Not take the roll, please.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello,
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes.
Alderman Breeze,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier.
Yes.
Passes. Next item, ETJ certified survey map application, Don Kieckhoefer.
David.
Excuse me, David.
David Kieckhoefer submitted an extraterritorial plat review application for a certified survey map. The parcel is located in the town of Richmond, east of 95th Avenue. The applicant seeks to subdivide the parcel to create 1 new lot. The future land use map guides the site for low-density residential. So as a best planning practice, they should take into account the city's future land use map for future development. The site is also currently not served by municipal water or sewer, so the applicant will need to contact St. Croix County for information regarding on-site private well and septic systems if desired for future development. Lot 2 is accessible via an existing field access driveway on 95th Street, and access is subject to review by the Town of Richmond and St. Croix County. The right-of-way and easements shown on the CSM are consistent with city requirements. The DRC and Plan Commission recommend approval of the ETJ certified survey map with one condition.
We hear a motion to approve the ETJ certified survey map application for David Kieckhoefer with one condition.
I would move to approve David Kieckhoefer's ETJ for,
I'll second it.
Further discussion? Roll, please.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
yes.
Alderman Vries, Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item is ordinance number 611, multifamily dwellings, minimum size and private amenities.
I can take this one. So this item was also discussed at the Plan Commission at their meeting last week. Currently, our city ordinance requires that dwelling units in multiple family dwellings have to be at least 500 square feet. A lot of communities are moving away from just picking this arbitrary number because it still has to meet building code. So any new multifamily project is subject to state review. However, the Plan Commission also expressed that they don't want to have shared kitchen facilities, shared restroom facilities, where you might have, 10 private apartments all sharing one type of facility. So this resolution relies on the state building code in terms of the actual square footage. And then it would require that each unit would have to have its own private restroom and kitchen. So this also can have an impact of helping preserve some of your traditional neighborhoods where someone may look to purchase, let's say it's a 100-year-old home, it's 5 or 6 bedrooms, and they say, I'm going to buy that and try to convert it into apartments. This actually makes that more difficult to do that. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
The only question I have is, we didn't have a specific application for this. This is really kind of pre-planning.
Correct, based on some of the multifamily projects here in town, but then also some of our existing studio apartments in Richmond that, because of the current ordinance, are really not, they would be limited to, kind of they're essentially grandfathered in, but.
They're non-compliant.
Correct.
No, this wouldn't affect it if somebody wanted to put in like a bed and breakfast. Share the restrooms, that wouldn't.
That would be a separate use. Yep. If someone wanted to open a bed and breakfast, they'd have to apply for a conditional use permit. Has a separate zoning than what a multifamily project would have.
You hear a motion to approve numbers 611, ordinance number 611.
Oh, so move. Second.
Yeah, further discussion?
So this would negate any kind of non-compliant apartments or places we have now.
Correct. They still have to comply with state building code. So we do have studio apartments in New Richmond. Yeah.
That are smaller than 500 square feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of your studio apartments, 400, 450 square feet.
Right.
And so, I don't think that was really the intention when this ordinance was adopted in 2015, kind of an unintended consequence. So.
Okay.
And this is just focusing on multifamily at the time. So it would be a future discussion in terms of single-family homes. Some communities that are allowing more of your cottage style or tiny house. So this is just focusing on multifamily for the time being.
Other questions? Not, take the roll, please.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle,
Yes.
Alderman Vries.
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes.
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next item, Knowles Avenue streetscape improvements. No?
And I have, on the presentation drive, I think there's just 2 or 3 slides. Oh, here we go. So just wanted to give a brief update regarding the downtown streetscape improvements, and wanted to highlight a couple things that you've probably seen more recently. On the first slide, just showing, I think as we previously discussed, those orange barrels were in place where some of the light poles had been. Those were replaced again on an interim basis by the green pedestals that you see. And then on the next slide, you can see some of this was a little more recently. The old flower planters and trash cans were removed. Our public works staff purchased new trash cans, again, more as an interim solution, that these are gonna look nicer here for the summer. We can always reuse those and repurpose them and relocate them at a park or somewhere else. And then those flower planters we already had. Those had been in the medians, again, on North and South Knowles Avenue. And so, again, we didn't actually have to purchase those, but again, just viewing those really as an interim solution for this year. And
You
then
know what, can I ask, where are those planters now?
the
The old planters, the big ones?
so some of them were actually cracked while moving them,
Okay.
but they've all been discarded.
Okay.
Yep.
So nobody has access to them? If they
No.
wanted to buy them
No,
or?
they wouldn't be. No.
Okay, thanks.
And kind of a fun fact, it was the original potting soil was still in the flower planters since 1989. So
Did you carbon date it?
There you
How do
go.
Did you carbon date it? How do you know that?
So, and then on, I think the last slide we have, just want to include in your packet are the detailed survey results. I'm not going to go through question by question through those, but feel free to go through those. We took about a week in June and sent via email a survey to downtown business owners and encouraged them to share it with their, whether they're a property owner, the business owner, their employees. We had about 80 responses. And included in your packet, you can see every question that was asked. What you see on the right is just kind of a snapshot, and so you'll see the question. A lot of them have a pie chart showing what the responses were. And then a lot of the questions were kind of a visual preference, so we would show some pictures of benches or flower planters or lights and ask people to select what their favorite one was. So you'll see in some cases there was a pretty clear consensus, in other cases kind of mixed results. And so we've shared those with SCH, who's our consultant working on this. And, you know, we kind of view this now as, you know, what their task is to really take some of this information and also look at exact layouts and locations. You know, if you're gonna have benches, what way are they facing, where are they going? People may select certain options that they like, but when they're taking that survey, they're also kind of viewing them in isolation. So it'd be like if I asked you, you know, which of these shirts and hats and shoes and pants is your favorite? And you might select all of those, but they may not actually all match together. So part of their task was to kind of look at what did people like and how do we actually make sure this all kind of blends and looks attractive in the downtown. And they'll have cost estimates for all of those as well. So
Would they be doing like a 3D version of Knowles Avenue to show how the benches and, you know, the garbage containers and that kind of stuff would look?
Not as part of the scope for this project. However, it wouldn't be all that difficult for us to do even just in-house if we know here's kind of the select amenities that they're going to pick. Even just to show, for example, just looking at one intersection to say, you know, this is what it would look like on the corner of 2nd and Knowles, but it's not necessarily part of their scope for the work. So
I think it was interesting that, first of all, I was surprised that of the respondents, the percentage of respondents was slightly majority want bike racks downtown, because I'm not sure how much the ones we have get used. I also thought it was interesting to hear the, you know, the thought of the people who work or own businesses there not wanting a bench in front of their door, right? Somebody might sit there and smoke. I think that was one of the comments I read, that
about
the
that a lot.
smoke gets into the building.
In front of a bar or something.
Yeah, so the feedback is really good. You know, it's funny, the sidewalk in a lot of areas just looks kind of cobbled together, and there's not a lot we can do to fix that on the budget that we have, but I think it's great feedback. It'd be interesting to see what that all coalesces around, you're talking about the design of lights, how they want plants on the ground, in the air, kind of both. So I'm looking forward to a refreshened feel to downtown.
Yeah, and I think for folks to realize that, you know, the benches, planters, they may not be in the exact same locations as what we've been used to for the last 30+ years. So, you know, there may be some mid-block, they might be facing a different direction. We may say we don't want one by some of the restaurants or bars. And then also trying to think about where things are matching up with, you know, I mean, sidewalks are fairly narrow. When you add in the light poles, when you also look at where parking stalls match up, so that if somebody's getting out of their car door isn't opening right up into a bench or a flower planter. So a lot of what SCH will be tasked with isn't just to say, okay, we're just gonna put 2 benches per block and here's your quote. It's really looking at some of those exact placements. So, so no action needed tonight, just wanted to bring this to your attention. If you haven't looked through the survey results, they are all in the packet, so feel free to kind of skim through those. The actually 80 responses we thought was actually pretty good. And so the survey has since closed, but again, you'll see this probably on the agenda in August. So.
A question.
That was just a great survey. I mean, they were pretty detailed about their answers and stuff, and I should be able to get some pretty good thoughts out of this and stuff. I was, except for I just don't understand where we would put bike racks. That I think they were talking about around the corner or somewhere anyway. I mean, I
Yeah,
ride my bike and I'd like to, but I don't know where we'd put them on the
There's
sidewalk.
some things like that, you know, it's interesting. You may ask people like the idea of the
Yeah.
bike rack being there, but if you ask them, have you ever used it? They may say no.
Yeah,
But
where would they go? But other than,
They
boy,
get-
it was
how do
very
they get there?
detailed. What?
How do they get there?
Yeah, first of all, you're not even supposed to be
can't go on
riding
the
down there.
sidewalk.
Right place on the sidewalk downtown. I've got a question too,
Yeah.
that, are the merchants gonna contribute to this, or is it all just city paying for it?
so there hasn't been any discussion about having any special assessment or anything for the downtown.
But I think there should be some kind of share in this, because we're trying to help the downtown merchants. The city can put money in, but to me, they have to help themselves too. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, so you'll see probably at our August meeting kind of a full cost breakdown of all the different amenities. You know, and certainly a conversation, you know, if the council wanted to discuss that. You know, typically, like when it comes to streetlights, you know, other business owners in other parts of town aren't paying a fee towards that, or for intersection, you know, new traffic lights or things like that. And, you know, when it comes to flower planters, benches, again, you'll see what the costs are. And, you know, thinking again, hopefully you get another 20 years out of some of those. But I think seeing some of those numbers may help in some of that decision making. So.
Questions? Thanks. Any communication or miscellaneous? Al?
I mean, just a couple of things. Actually, so this Wednesday at 5:30 here in the council chambers, St. Croix County Parks has a presentation that they'll be doing that anyone is welcome. And then as a reminder, the August council meeting is moving to Wednesday, the 14th, to accommodate the primary on Tuesday, August 13th. The sample ballot is available on our website, and you can also request absentee ballots. And then National Night Out is August, I'm bringing up the date, from 5 to 7. Yes, Tuesday, August 6th, from 5 to 7. And so there will be a thing going up that people can register their neighborhood. As a reminder, this is for city neighborhoods, would register with us for this, for the PD and fire department. If folks live outside the city, they can join the National Night Out Party at Mary Park from 5 to 7 with the VFW Auxiliary and VFW. And then Chief Yalick, July 31st, Jeff Kirsten is doing a presentation here on common scams. A lot. Common scams. There's a flyer on the bulletin board. It's also on the New Richmond Police Department Facebook page, and we'll share it on ours as well. July 31st at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Is that what you were going to say? You have more to add?
yeah, this was, Jeff comes from the state of Wisconsin, and he does presentations across the state on everything from landlord-tenant disputes to common scams. So Mackenzie Hazen kind of stepped up to the plate and scheduled this for July 31st, and he should be here. He's going to be kind of on this side of the state for a few days, talking to as many people. The city in Richmond's been hit really hard with scams of late, and quite a few people falling for these scams and are out a lot of money. So I encourage anybody that wants to perhaps educate their parents or stuff to come and learn about these common scams, because they're being very successful in this area.
What time is that going to be?
What's that?
What time is it going to be?
6 p.m.
Why?
31st.
So Chief, you talk about scams. Are people, do they call the police department when it happens to them? And is that who they should be contacting if they live in the city?
Yeah, they do, and we can direct them depending on whether they're out money or not, how that investigation looks. But unfortunately, a very high percentage of time, the money is very quickly out of the country. And obviously gets out of our jurisdiction fairly quickly, but a lot of them don't meet the threshold for federal investigation. You got to be out hundreds of thousands of dollars for the federal agencies to look at it. And it's not cost effective for us to obviously send our investigators out of the country. So we're going to try to look at the educational part of this, and hopefully we can educate our community to have less victims of these types of scams.
Michelle, what was the first one you said?
On this Wednesday at 5:30 is the St. Croix County Parks presentation. So some staff from St. Croix County will be here sharing some projects happening in regional parks.
Yep, just one item I wanted to bring attention to. Beth Thompson sent an email out this afternoon to council and Ford and Richmond about an event that'll be on Thursday, August 8th in River Falls, if anyone's interested in attending. I'm really focused on, it's hosted by the St. Croix EDC, and the focus is really looking at site selectors and how they select locations. So it's free to attend if you're interested in attending. Beth will handle RSVPing, and then if people want to carpool. So it's a Thursday, August 8th. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, wraps up around noon. They have box lunches kind of to go, or if people want to visit. So probably leaving here by 8:30, getting back 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere's in there. So so she just sent that this afternoon, maybe at, I don't know, 2 o'clock or something today. So some of you may have seen that, but feel free to take a look at your calendars if you're interested. You can even let her know the week of the event. We don't need to know, this week or anything like that. So,
Pete? Yeah, I guess I'd like an update on the fun run on Saturday.
I wouldn't call it fun, but Pete's referring. I did an ultra marathon on Saturday, so I did 31 miles, and I'm still walking today. So,
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Any other notifications or not? Do I hear a motion to go in closed session per state statute 19.851G?
Second?
Take the roll, please.
Alderman Vries,
Yes.
Alderman Weinmeier,
Yes?
Alderman Gartner,
Yes.
Alderman Volkert,
Yes.
Alderman Montello.
Yes.
Alderman Kittle.
Yes.
In closed session.
Here, Jim, I need a lot of signatures. Do you want to come over here? I have them all lined up.
Yeah, I'll be there. Anybody want to take a 5-minute break?